Good afternoon, and we've been waiting for a while to get a hold of him, but he's finally here. Alan Doyle of Great Big Sea, chatting with him. He's in Portland, Oregon this afternoon anyway, or I guess this morning, still over in Portland, just about lunchtime there anyway. And Alan, November the 26th, coming to the Coliseum at Caesars Windsor. Why don't we start with the new album anyway? Going to hear some cuts from that. Safe Upon the Shore is the new album, so tell us about it.
The record was mostly done in two sections. We did a section that was really kind of in our comfort zone, in the dressing rooms and in the back lounge of our bus and in a basement in Deer Lake, Newfoundland, and our own studio in St. John's. I sort of taught myself to use a real good computer-based software program, and we can record almost anywhere. And so we did a bunch of songs, Safe Upon the Shore, that sounded like basic songs from 1995, puppy drinking songs. And we wanted to sort of complement that with something that didn't sound like us at all, something really new, something really out of our element, So we went to New Orleans and recorded a bunch of songs with a bunch of Cajun dudes and horn players, and it made for the coolest mix of the familiar and the quite different.
So you're pretty happy with how it turned out?
Yeah, man, great.
Yeah, well, it sounds awesome. So, like you said, you were in Portland, Oregon, and then you're off to California, I think, over the next few days, too. So you excited about doing that area? You ever played out there before?
Oh, yeah, lots of times. Yeah. We've been playing in this part of the United States for, going on a decade now.
So do you find the reception's pretty good out there, too? Do you find, that's something I wanted to ask you, too. If you're going to be going out to California, let's say, and into the southern states, do you find that there's a difference in the audiences when it comes to there as opposed to, let's say, back home on the East Coast or in southern Ontario or out in Western Canada or anything?
No, we've always found the audience built kind of similar everywhere in the world. We had to make fans one at a time, handshake every one of them, and it's such a live thing and an in-person thing. It's generally the way it goes.
So another show that's coming up just after the new year anyway with the Bare Naked Ladies are going to be on board a cruise ship, the Ships and Dip cruise. Are you excited about that?
Very much so. We did that cruise a couple of times before, and it's literally like a floating music festival from 3 p.m. till 3 a.m. every day. You can wander up on the deck and see one of the bands, or go down to the pub and see one of the bands, or maybe on the back deck, a couple of people from two different bands will be doing a Bob Dylan set, or something. It's a great week of music and collaboration.
So there's no shortage of fun on those things for sure.
Oh no, it's no fun.
None at all.
Oh my God, none at all. No. You know what it's like when you get a boatload of musicians together.
I imagine it's fun. So in other, Alan Doyle news, I guess, anyway, not too long ago, you had a chance to work with Russell Crowe on the silver screen, so to speak, anyway, with the whole Robin Hood movie.
Yeah.
And looking back, I guess you've worked with him a fair bit before, so how did that happen? So are you and him childhood friends or something?
I met Russell first in 2002, I think, when he was in Toronto doing Cinderella Man. And for years previous, he'd been aware of Great Big Sea. He worked in Canada on a movie called Mystery Alaska. And Kevin Durand, who plays Little John in Robin Hood, and many people will know from being on television shows like Lost and a few films here and there. And he introduced Russell and Scott Grimes and a bunch of the other guys to Great Big Sea music, and they became fans. And when I met Russell, we met very briefly at a hockey award, so really the first time I met Russell was at a Great Big Sea concert.
So big celebrity fans. Have you run into any other celebrities along the way anyway who just happen to be popping in at your shows?
A few, yeah. I mean, the more, especially when you're playing in the west coast of Canada, or U.S., I should say, in L.A. and stuff, and it's always we're on people's radars. Every now and again, you'll meet a famous person or a hockey player or something, and you go, that was cool.
Have you ever been starstruck by anybody? Have you ever been looking through the audience halfway through a show and go, whoa?
At gigs, after gigs sometimes, or whatever. I remember the most starstruck I ever was when I was at the Junos, 10 years ago one time, and all these famous people around everywhere, all these famous musicians. And Mark Messier and Wayne Gretzky sat down behind me, and I freaked out.
That would be, I could see that being a spine-tingling moment for anybody, really. Something else I wanted to ask, too, on the website. So you have a blog going basically telling everybody about your journeys on the road. A couple other guys in the band do. Who's Tosh? Is he the band's dog, or is he your dog? Or
Tosh is Sean's beagle.
Okay.
And Tosh speaks voluminously, man, when he talks.
Quite fluent English.
If you're going to pay attention to anyone's advice, I'd pay attention to Tosh. Wisdom in the form of a beagle.
Well, yeah, he's a quite wise dog if you read through the blog. He doesn't seem to like the airport security checkpoints, though, it seems. But
No. Tired on his hind legs.
What's next for you guys? I mean, you guys have put out 10 albums now. We got live DVDs, we got live everything. We got you on TV and in film. And I mean, what's next for Great Big Sea? I mean, what else is there to do?
We'd be very content if we could get another, and to get the first sort of part of our adult life we spent singing songs for people around the world. If we could get the next part of our adult life to do the same thing, I think we'd all be really happy, man. I've been saying for a while, the journey has become the destination,
Sure.
Like, where do you guys want to be? Well, we want to be here. I want to be doing this, I want to be the guy who plays in the band for everything.
So at this point, if it's just, more sold-out shows and more content audiences, then you're pretty happy at that point, eh?
I'm very if I never did anything else the rest of my life professionally other than sing songs in Great Big Sea, I'd be very happy. I'd be very content.
Fair enough. We wanted to, before we let you go, we just had a couple of audience-submitted questions here anyway, or a couple of listeners sent in some emails. So Laura D. writes in, what's your favorite meal when you're out on the road?
My favorite meal on the road? Favorite meal on the road? Depends on what city I'm in. It's a tough question. It's not something I could take lightly. Like breakfast at Sophie's Coffee Cafe in Vancouver. Fantastic. La Mela pasta in New York City. Lombardi's Pizza in New York City. One of the smoked meat places in Montreal. I eat the best thing in the city that I'm in.
So it all depends from day to day, eh?
Yeah.
Do you make stops just to, make sure that you get a certain food in?
Absolutely.
Stephanie A. writes in, what's your favorite song to do in the sing-along when you're doing the Queen and Bryan Adams sing-alongs and that sort of thing? What's your favorite one?
I don't know. It kind of changes every day, but it's a good question. I don't know. Every night I stumble upon something in the back of my mind that I think people will like to sing, and I'm always thrilled when it works, and it doesn't always work. But only lately I started singing Don't Stop Believing by Journey, and people seem to really dig that.
Dan A. writes in, how much money is in your wallet right now?
I know exactly. I have $360 US in my right hip pocket right now because I just put it in there.
And the last one, Bridget C. asks, will you marry me?
Absolutely. I am married already, but let's face it. Come on, we can make that go away. Can you ask her how much money is in your pocket right now?
I will send that back to her. But I guess we can find that out soon enough for you anyway, just in time for the show closest to here anyway, November the 26th, the Coliseum at Caesars Windsor. Looking forward to having you back there. Alan Doyle from Great Big Sea, thank you so much for taking the time to do this.
Hey, thanks so much. See you guys soon.